Hey guys, welcome to week 2 and swing fault number 2. Last week we talked about the S posture in your swing, and that's where you have a big arch in your back or your butt sticks out a little bit too far. This week we're going to talk about the C posture, and that's roundness of your back. So your back, usually when we see this, the legs are pretty straight, the roundness of the back is flat, and we're rounded over this way. This can really cause a lot of things in your swing. When your upper back or your thoracic spine is rounded forward, it makes it a lot harder to rotate. And then we see a lot of this movement, or we see a lot of what's called flat shoulder plane. So we see it go back this way. It can also cause some discomfort in your lower back and a lot of lower body movement. So what you want to be aware of, if you line up over the ball and you feel your shoulders are really rounded this way, that the best thing to do is to try and pull your shoulder blades together and sit up this way. One tip that I always use to sit up this posture is to put your club right across your waist and push your hips back with your legs locked out, chest sticks out, then you're going to slightly bend your knees and set the club down. And that's going to get you in a pretty good posture. It may not be perfect, but it's going to be a lot better than the rounded C posture. I think the reason we see a lot of this C posture is because of our everyday activities in which we're at a computer, we're driving a car. I'm sure you hear a lot about it, but the shoulders actually, the chest muscles get pulled forward, rounded, and your back gets weak. So I'm going to show you a couple of exercises that you can do to try and eliminate that C posture or get a little bit better posture overall in your body. One exercise that will really help you to feel that better posture in your golf swing is what we call a toes up toe touch. And what you want to do is find something to put your toes up about 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches, and set a club out about 8 inches away from that object. I like to use books or anything that you have at home. What happens is, in that C posture, is you always hear bend over from the waist. Well, most people, your waist is up here, and people when they bend from the waist. What we want you to do is bend from your hip joint, or what we call it, hinging from your hip. So one good way to feel that is to put your fingers right on your hip bone and push back, kind of like I did earlier with the club. And you're going to feel yourself bending at your hip joint. So when you put your toes up like this, it's going to keep your legs locked out. And what you want to feel like is, I like to say, like you're looking over the edge of a building, but you don't want to fall off. So your butt's going to go back, and you're going to keep your legs straight, and you're going to hinge right from your hip joint. And then you can feel like you're going to reach out for that club. Because if, for example, if I said touch your toes, a lot of people will go like this, and they bend from the waist again. So this is a great drill to feel like you are hinging from your hip, reach out, look over the edge of the building, and then reach. You don't necessarily have to go down and grab the club, but as long as your legs stay straight, your butt goes back, and you reach out, you're going to feel that hinging from the hip. It's going to make a huge difference in your posture. This next exercise is called a standing row. And basically what you're doing is you're strengthening the muscles in your upper back, because what happens is when the shoulders get rounded, they get weak. And it allows your thoracic spine to get too rounded and therefore creates a C posture. So what you want to do is take a band, 2 bands, or here I have a cable, and you're going to get in a good posture, your butt back. You're going to extend your arms, and you're going to pull as far as you can, sticking the chest out, and you want to feel like you're pulling with your elbows. A lot of times when somebody grabs this the first time, I always see this, and people pull as far as they can with their arms, and they end up crunching and they never work their back. So what you want to feel is you want to keep the weight really light, and you just want to feel like your shoulder blades come together. And that's the first motion. So you're going to, shoulder blades come together, and then your arms pull. I like to say that you're pulling with your elbows and your hands are just a hook. So once your elbows get to as far as they can go, that's as far as you need to do it. This is a great exercise it'll work your balance, because you have to keep yourself from falling forward. But this is a great exercise to really strengthen your upper back. 10 to 15 reps with a moderate weight is great to start, but you always want to make sure you're pinching your shoulder blades together on this one. So try that one, standing a couple sets of 10 to 15 reps, and you're really going to notice that open feeling in your chest. And so after you've done the pulls to strengthen your upper back, you want to make sure you stretch the front, stretch the chest. One great exercise or stretch is what we call the doorway stretch. So what you want to do is you want to put your arm in the doorway, 90 degrees, and then step forward with your inside leg, or the same leg that's up, and then just feel like you're turning your chest away. You're going to feel a great stretch right here in the shoulder and chest area. You want to hold that for about 10 seconds, and then release, and then 10 seconds. You're going to do that about 5 times. That'll be a great stretch. I always tell my clients, if you're in an office, stand up and do that throughout the day periodically, and you'll notice a big difference in your posture as well. And always what you do to one side, you always want to do the other. So left foot forward, left arm, and turn away. That's a great stretch. So try that stretch after you do the pulls on with the cables or the bands. So that's swing fault number 2, the C posture, and that is where you get roundness in your shoulders at setup. So I talked about the hip hinging forward and feeling like you're hinging from your hip and keeping your legs straight when you get in your posture. The other one was the row for your upper back strength to pull the shoulders back, and the last one was the chest stretch that will allow the shoulders to come back. So try those 3, add those 3 into your routine, and that's going to help you if you do have C posture.